Let's go live to our correspondent on the ground, Hani Mahmoud, who's live from Rafah. So Israel has said it would open the Erez crossing into northern Gaza. What's the latest on that, Hani, and how much aid has gone in the last few days?
Yes, Paul. Well, so far what we're looking at is more of the talks and more of theoretically things are going to get better, hopefully within the coming day. But in terms of practicality, nothing on the ground is significant. Nothing has changed within the past few days. And the fact that we're still seeing people are struggling on daily basis here in an overcrowded southern part of the strip to find basic supplies, food supplies and survival items is just an indication that nothing significant happened within the past weeks. And the fact that there's only a trickle amount of aid has been allowed so far, and the miles of trucks on the other side of the border just make it very difficult for people to cope well with the very difficult living conditions created by the ongoing intense bombing campaign, along with the restrictions on the ground that has so far prevented aid workers from doing their job and delivering much needed items and food supplies to a largely desperate population. In the northern part in Gaza City, the situations are far worse. And just right now, despite the talks and the alternatives proposed either by airdropping or constructing the temporary pier to provide more aid, people are still suffering from the spread of acute famine that so far has caused the death of 30 children of the enforced dehydration and starvation. Now, everything sounds really nice and flowery in theory, but the problem is on the ground, we're talking about situations that are described as it's an emergency that is, it's a crisis that is above emergency level, that has been the byproduct directly created by the intense bombing campaign. And in terms of logistics, it's impossible to be doing any of aid, food delivery in the northern part of Gaza City until there is a complete ceasefire and insurance of safety for aid workers and aid seekers to receive much needed items.
So no changes when it comes to the humanitarian situation. What about the fighting, Hani? What's the latest on that?
Well, the fighting continues, and the air raids continue, and air strikes continue to pound across the central area and the city of Khan Younis and the northern part in Gaza City. And it's directly linked to what's going on. More airstrikes, more attacks are leading to more obstruction of a humanitarian aid. The whole chain of events have led into these catastrophic situations. And now with the shattered sense of safety and security, and right after the attacks on the WCK employees, a lot of people and donors and volunteers and aid workers on the ground are very discouraged unless there is assurance of safety for them to continue working and as long as we have more air raids continue to happen, nothing is going to change. More people are being injured. That put a pressure on hospitals. In the central area, for example, we have only one health facility that is semi-operational right now, and the fact that it has turned into more of a refugee camp because of the thousands of people sheltering inside, and has been within the past few days a site of attacks as well, where journalists and patients and injuries were killed inside the courtyard of the hospital. On top of that, the insufficient medical staff, it just making it very difficult. The more bombings, the more we're seeing difficult conditions created on the ground that's going to prevent anything meaningful to change the course of people's life across the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, difficult conditions for the people of Gaza, no doubt. Thank you so much, Hani, for the update. That's Al Jazeera's Hani Mahmoud live in Rafah.